will call to order the meeting for Wednesday, November 5th. May I have roll call, please?
Mayor Allen,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Clayton,
Present.
Commissioner Kaler,
Present.
Commissioner Crowley,
Present.
and Commissioner Skidmore.
Present.
I would like to welcome everyone here in the audience as well as everyone watching or listening at home. We will begin today's meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation by Pastor Terrence Roberson with Bethany Baptist Church. And if he's not on, then Commissioner Skidmore.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I think you're up.
We're up. Okay, let's pray. Father in heaven, we give you thanks for this special day we can be here today. It's the beautiful weather we've experienced today as well. And Lord, as we look upon Saturday with our Veterans Day Parade, I just want to pause a moment. Thank you so much for this country and the freedom we enjoy and have each and every day, and for all those involved in making this happen. And we think of all the soldiers that are come and gone, some with us still, some not, but we're just equally thankful and grateful for each of them. And now, Lord, for our meeting tonight, we just ask for your direction and guidance. Just give us pure hearts and clear minds so we make the right decisions according to your perfect will. I thank you in Christ's name. Amen.
Thank you, Commissioner Skidmore. We'll move on to public comments. Do we have any registered?
We have none registered.
Okay. We'll go on to appointments, proclamations, recognitions, and nominations. We have a proclamation recognizing National Animal Shelter Appreciation Week on November 2nd through 8th, 2025. Animal shelters help both people and animals by responding to the needs of the community with everything from matching homeless animals with loving families to educating the public. Vanessa Cowie with Prairie Paws Animal Shelter will accept the proclamation, which will be read by Commissioner Kaler.
Greetings. The proclamation reads as follows. Whereas dogs and cats are an integral part of the quality of life of our community, where approximately 4,912 pet dogs and 4,113 pet cats living in the city of Ottawa, and 89.7 million dogs and 94.2 million cats nationwide. And whereas animal shelter employees must respond to the needs of the community, keeping animals and humans safe from harm. And whereas animal shelters make communities better places to live, taking stray or dangerous animals off the streets and out of harm's way. And whereas animal shelters help both animals and people in many ways by returning lost pets to their owners, community partnerships with area nonprofits, educating the public, and matching homeless animals with loving new families. And whereas animal shelters receive important donations of money, goods, and volunteer time to assist their important missions. And whereas Prairie Paws Animal Shelter reflects best shelter practices with veterinarian care, behavior modification, and socialization programs to provide the best possible outcome for each animal in its care. And wherefore, in the city of Ottawa, Kansas, one of the safest cities in Ottawa to be a homeless pet, now therefore the governing body of the city of Ottawa, Kansas, does hereby proclaim the week of November 2nd through 8th, 2025 as National Animal Shelter Appreciation Week in the city of Ottawa, Kansas, and calls upon its citizens to recommit to the animals in our community with responsible pet ownership and support our local efforts to help homeless animals. Signed this the 5th day of November, 2025 by our mayor. And I'm giving this on behalf of my dog Moose, who came from the animal shelter. So who's at home, probably not very happy that he's not here. I would have brought him.
Thank you so much for doing this, Mayor and Commissioners. This is my third one of these today. And everybody has got tongue-tied, Commissioner Kaler. It's not just you. But we have
Good.
our city clerk, Melissa Skirman, for writing that proclamation probably 8 years ago. And so it's her fault that it's hard to read. We have a few really exciting updates for Prairie Paws, and I haven't been in a city commission meeting for a little while, and this is my first time orientated facing this way. I feel like I need my sea legs with it turned this way. We recently hired a veterinarian, a full-time veterinarian, to work for Prairie Paws Animal Shelter, and it's really changed the way we can deliver our programs and improve the quality of care for pets in our facilities. Right now, she's traveling around the 3 locations, making visits, keeping the health of the pets really higher than we've ever had. And so it's been a real milestone for us. And I am within a couple weeks away from driving out to Columbus, Ohio, and hauling back our mobile spay-neuter trailer that we've been custom building since January of this year, thanks to a grant we received last December. So there's a few exciting things going on, and I'm just really thrilled that you've done this for us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I will say that on behalf of baby Bo Jackson as well, who is very grateful that she came through your shelter to my house. So
And what are the dates you're hauling a trailer so we know where not to be? Yeah.
next, we'll move on to the consent agenda, which includes minutes from October 22nd, 2025 meeting, minutes from the August 19th, 2025 OMA Advisory Board meeting, and the agenda approval. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. At this time, I'd like to give the commissioners a chance to declare any conflict or communication they've had that might influence their ability to consider today's issues impartially. Seeing none, we will move on. We will go past unfinished business to new business. We will start with item 11A.
Fire ISO rating.
Fire Chief Dillon will provide an update on the city's ISO evaluation and the new Class 2 rating. Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Sorry. So I have some pretty exciting news for our community. Before we were an ISO rated 3 fire department or community, we have now moved to a 2, which is actually better. So you have a class 1 through 10. And class 1 is like the highest, and 10 would be a community that is without hydrants or something like that. The ISO 2 rating will be effective January 1st, 2026. So if you feel like you want to reach out and ask your insurance companies, you can call them direct. They now have online access. The updates happen every 5 to 7 years. So in 5 to 7 years, we'll be doing this again. But it's very exciting news. It took a lot of effort by everybody, whether it's dispatch, the water department, the fire department, and then our citizens that help support us, and how you support us when we make requests. So a little bit about a ISO background. There's 39,000 communities nationwide that use the fire suppression rating schedule. And I did a little digging, and in your packet, you'll see like the actual report from ISO and then a memo. In the ISO 2 level, we fall within about 5% of the communities that are rated at an ISO 2 level. And some people may ask, we're a class 2/2X. The 2X means that there is certain areas of the city that's doesn't have a hydrant within 1,000 feet, or they're outside of that radius a little bit. For instance, we could use the airport as an example. That's a protected piece of property by us, but the hydrants aren't out there. It's also important to note, about 75% of insurance carriers utilize ISO as their kind of go-to for evaluating insurance rates for their communities or their purchasers. It's hard to I don't know who uses what on the other 25% because our community this is what we've chosen to utilize for our scoring. And then I just wanted to highlight some of the areas where we improved on, where we can continue to improve on going forward. So in 2016 was our last evaluation. At that time, we scored a 77.58. This year, or in 2025, we jumped up to 82. So we're in that range from 80 to 89.99. If you go beyond that and hit 90, then you would be at a class 1. So you can see the fire department and dispatch both went up slightly. Some of that's due to the new communication systems that we have as far as our radio system for dispatch, their training. Fire department, same thing. We've added a few people over the last couple of years. So it's increased the number of people that's on duty and able to respond. That divergence adjustment, just to keep it simple, it's a mathematical formula that they use throughout all the points during the scoring, and that divergence is kind of a negative. So what can the fire department do with the water that's available? The water department scores really well. They're almost perfect. What they're looking at and evaluating is the number of people that's on scene that can make the fire attack right away. So that's kind of a down and dirty, easy to explain. Doing the calculation, I couldn't do that for you. And then the community risk reduction, that's extra credit points. So everything that we do from our fire inspections to our code adoption, what the schools do for their fire drills and tornado drills and stuff like that, that's the extra credit. With the code adoption, it's important too that we should stay, and this came from our evaluator, that you want to try to stay at the most current code. Currently we're at the 2018, and I believe it's 2024 right now would be the most current. So everything that we've done, the little steps that we've adjusted and increased on, it's helped us achieve a better score. So I'd like to thank you for that and helping support us in there. So there's no financial legal considerations at this time, and basically this would be just a receive and file, and I'll open it up to any questions that you might have. Try to explain them.
Chief, I guess there's no way of knowing how much this will save our citizens on insurance rates. Is there a total?
Yeah, that's something that they don't provide for us just because there's so many carriers out there that
Different.
it just depends on.
And do you know if we ever in the history of Ottawa had a 2 rating before? It's always been 3 or less.
No, I believe when I started, we were at a 4, and then in 2016 we went to a 3, and now we're at a 2.
Okay, I'm gonna stick around another 5 years and we'll see if we get that next one, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Good job.
Thank you, Chief. Looking at, kind of their actual like scoring of it, kind of the one area that really jumps out to me as being the largest disparity is the credit for company personnel. Could you kind of touch on, because that we got a 7.69 out of 15. Everything else we were 75, 80% to 90% of the total points available. That one we were a lot closer to 50% than anything else kind of in the full rating. So could you kind of touch on what that looks like from their perspective, that company personnel?
Yes, so our community is what they consider a 3-engine community. Currently, we staff 2, and then we would rely on off-duty people to come in. Ideally, NFPA plus ISO, because they also use NFPA as kind of their guide guidelines as well. You would have 4 people on an engine. So if we had, 3 engines fully staffed, we would score perfect in that area as well. So they do count our off-duty personnel and our volunteers that come in. On the volunteer side, and this isn't my explanation, but it's theirs, that the volunteers count as a half of a person, full-time count as a whole person. So it takes 2 volunteers to make up for 1. Another thing that we did that I believe that you're all aware of is a couple of years ago, we started the auto aid with LOH. That's another thing that helped plus up our score a little bit. So if we ever got to that point where we were fully staffed with 3 engines or 3 engines and a ladder truck, then we would probably score almost perfect there. So
Awesome. Thank you. Yep.
Any other questions?
Yeah, Chief, I noticed there's no category for kitten rescues. Does that take that off? Doesn't count?
well, they look at all of the calls that we go on, but we don't get any extra credit for that.
I guess we'll leave that to Vanessa. Okay.
Okay, thank you for the presentation and for all you guys do for our community.
Yep, thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Next, we'll move on to item 11B.
Consideration of a resolution authorizing partnership agreement with Live Healthy Franklin County.
OMA Director Evans will present a resolution authorizing the city manager to sign a partnership agreement with Live Healthy Franklin County to establish a community commercial kitchen through the Pathways to a Healthy Kansas initiative. We have Director Evans.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to talk about some exciting prospects for the OMA. I want to say, I think ever since I came on board in 2017 and prior to that, we have been talking about the OMA kitchen and what it could be utilized for. And this opportunity gives us some of that funding to make those dreams a reality. And I will tell you, over the last several weeks, months, we've had more and more interest in the basement space and that kitchen space. And so this is perfect timing. Earlier this year, the city signed an incubator kitchen and food hub package pledge to explore this partnership, which aims to increase access to healthy food, provide space for food entrepreneurs, and support nutrition education events in the community. And that, of course, was with that partnership with Live Healthy Franklin County and Blue Cross Blue Shield of Kansas. It is recommended that the City Commission approve this resolution authorizing the city manager or his designee to sign the partnership agreement with Live Healthy Franklin County for the Pathways to a Healthy Kansas Incubator Kitchen Package. So with this, we've been working with both of those organizations, both of those groups on this prospect. Live Healthy Franklin County will be the connecting dot between the OMA and Blue Cross Blue Shield and the Healthy Pathways Initiative. They will be helping us with those reporting metrics, communication, and some branding compliance. So let's talk about what that agreement entails. So through the partnership agreement, and I do have a copy of that in front of each of you, I have that laying there. We would commit to renovating and upgrading our kitchen space to meet our community partner needs, identified through public input. When this opportunity was presented to me, I gathered many of our key community partners and had an open discussion. And we talked about what they would use that space for, what educational opportunities it could bring, how it could help their families, their patrons, what equipment they would need to present that programming. And so we really built a list of wants, needs, and desires from that, and talked about how we would provide those fee waivers and how they would access them. So as part of that agreement, we would provide fee waivers for our nonprofit community partners serving low-income residents and hosting events to promote healthy eating and food access in our community. We would also commit to hosting at least one event each year that focused on healthy food or some sort of nutrition education, That seems pretty easy. I think we can do that pretty easily. We would also maintain all policies and procedures and reporting requirements associated with the Pathways program through October of 2030. And then submit the Pathways Implementation Grant by December 15th and track those metrics. Those metrics include how many kitchen rentals are we having each year? How many hours is the kitchen being rented each year? How many fee waivers are we issuing? How many unique renters are using the space, and how many patrons we're actually assisting? How many people are taking part in this programming? All of those things are already numbers that we keep on all of our other rentals. So really, it's just adding a couple of extra lines on my Excel sheet for each month. Financial considerations. The project will be funded by the Pathways Grant. Equipment purchases for the project are being funded in multiple avenues. One, you may have seen last week, we had a media release about receiving almost $50,000 grant through the Kansas Department of Agriculture for the Kansas Resilient Food Equipment Grant. A vast majority of that will cover a commercial hood system, which is like $30,000. So that's a huge win for us. Also, we have some in-kind donated kitchen equipment that the Friends of the OMA have purchased, as well as our match will include staff time for oversight and administration, and then the value of those fee waivers. Legal considerations, the resolution and accompanying partnership agreement have been reviewed and approved as to form by the city attorney. So we do believe that these obligations can be met by current staff and future staff, and we recommend proceeding with approval of the resolution. Again, that is authorizing the city manager or his designee to execute the partnership agreement with Live Healthy Franklin County. And I am happy to answer any questions you may have.
Do we have any questions for Tiffany?
I'll make the motion. We approve item 11B on our agenda.
I'll second.
Okay, do we have any further discussion? May I have roll call vote, please?
How do you vote, Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Clayton?
Yes.
Commissioner Skidmore?
Yes.
Commissioner Kaler?
Yes.
And Mayor Allen?
And I vote yes, the motion carries.
Thank you.
We will now move on to comments by our city manager.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. Want to point out kind of with the passage of the sales tax renewal for 1%, this will continue to fund our key community improvements for infrastructure, public safety, parks and quality of life improvements, as well as our ongoing property tax relief. Want to point out our next steps here, which will be an enabling ordinance, which we have planned to present for you at our next City Commission meeting here on November 12th. And upon adoption and publication of that ordinance, it will then be submitted to the Department of Revenue for their review and processing for implementation with an effective date of July 1st, 2026. And that is, of course, timed to be seamless so that when the existing 1 cent rolls off, this is when it would come on. So as a vendor or a consumer, you would not notice any difference than what we currently are doing. Some operational highlights. We did some road work there in the 1100 block of Cedar. I did some pruning at Highland Cemetery. Also want to point out yesterday, you may have got a Everbridge notification for some street works that was going on in Elm Street, on 14th Street from King to Cedar, and then the 2200 block of South King. And then we sent another one today for a road closure there on East 6th at South Hickory for a water main improvement. And that goes into some of the work that our crews did last week, where they did 60 feet of water main installation and inspected 1,264 feet of sewer main and completed our state compliance water samples. And this is something that Director Evans had just mentioned for the hood and exhaust system as part of the ongoing enhancements to the space at the OMA. And so this will dovetail with that. And so we're grateful for the continued work of Director Evans and Clerk Sherman on helping to make our tax dollars go further by leveraging outside tax dollars and nonprofits targeting this utilization. Some upcoming community events. We've got our Veterans Day Parade this Saturday, and then we've got dueling pianos Saturday evening at the OMA as well. And if you're someone who likes either the night sky or insomnia, it's not on here, but tonight there's going to be a pretty bright meteor shower between midnight and 2. So all you got to do is step outside and look up. It's the Southern Taurid coming from the constellation Taurus. So if you can't sleep or you're a nerd like me, go outside and look up between midnight and 2. And we've got some current positions available, both at the OMA, and if anyone's interested for part-time service for this, please consider applying. And then here's our upcoming agenda items, although I will say the Kansas Gas franchise agreement, that is being deferred as we're still waiting on feedback from Kansas Gas, so we won't be able to have that turned around in time for our next commission meeting. And with that, that concludes my report. If there are no questions of myself or another member of the team.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll now move on to comments by the governing body. We'll start with Commissioner Skidmore.
I just want to thank everybody for their support for the election. I'm pleased the way it turned out. And obviously, congratulations to Mayor Allen and also Tim Van Leen for his success in the election. So just want to congratulate them and look forward to working with somebody new and coming in and looking for another term as well. So thank you all.
Commissioner Crowley.
I have no comments.
Commissioner Kaler.
Yes, I'd like to kind of dovetail on what Commissioner Skidmore said. I reached out to Tim Van Leeten last night, and I think he's going to do a fantastic job here on the City Commission. I'm excited to see what he does, being the new voice on our commission, and I think we'll see good things from him. Also, want to thank the voters of Ottawa who decided 76% of them decided that the sales tax question was a yes for them, and that's a powerful vote. And that's a powerful statement. So thank you for those that believed in that. And we look forward to some really great things coming about with that sales tax continuation.
Mayor Pro Tem Clayton.
Yeah, I will follow suit with that as well. For all the high school students here, sitting up here, being on the school board sometimes is not always the most fun thing. And so I want to shout out everyone who ran for any position. Within Franklin County, there were a lot of names. And it takes a lot of gumption to put yourself out there to try to do that. So want to congratulate everyone who did that, that we appreciate their willingness to serve. And then also to the winners, congratulations for all those people who are filling different seats. And we will have a new commissioner coming on here in a little over a month or right around a month. And following with that, I'd like to ask for next week, the 12th, if we could add just an item for discussion for commission with roads. I know we previously had spoken, we've heard from Director Welsh regarding roads. And I know we kind of had some thoughts with him, but a lot was in limbo, I think, until we knew that sales tax was going to be approved or hoped it was approved. And now that it is, hopefully we can kind of bring that discussion back to the forefront, get a game plan going for what 2026 kind of looks like on that. So if we can add that to next week's agenda. And then just quickly running through stuff as well. It's amazing all the grants, Clerk Sherman has been able to bring into town. So again, for $50,000 is nothing to balk at. And I think that's a great opportunity. I want to shout out Franklin County Honors for the flags. I saw on Facebook they had posted that there's fewer flags this year, and people had been asking kind of why. Previously, they'd come and spoke that their trailer had been stolen. And I believe if you reach out on Facebook, they are looking for donations potentially for buying more flags for next year. But I was corrected. I said a post about Christmas after Halloween ended, and I was corrected that this week is important because there's a Marine Corps birthday. So to anyone who has served, we appreciate your service and happy birthday on Monday, Veterans Day on Tuesday, and want to give a special shout out to those. I don't know what their birthday entails, but it's the 250th. So I believe it's a very exciting time for them as well.
Thank you. And I can't say it any better than everyone else did already, but thank you to everyone who turned out to vote. That was, it was a significant amount of votes that everybody had, not only for the sales tax initiative, but just for the open seats as well on commission, school board, all of those. So we really appreciate everybody getting out to vote. We will move on to announcements. On November 12th, 2025, we have a city commission meeting at 4 p.m. at City Hall. November 19th, city commission meeting 10 a.m. at City Hall. November 26th, city commission meeting 4 p.m. at City Hall. And then we are now going to need an executive session. 25 minutes. Do we have a motion?
Madam Mayor,
Commissioner?
I move that the commission recesses into executive session to engage in privileged and confidential communication with the board's attorney pursuant to the attorney-client privilege exception KSA 75-4319B2. The open meeting will resume in this room at, will it?
You said 25.
Are we taking a few minutes break?
Yes.
25. We'll start it at, what? 6:35 and finish it at 8, or sorry, 7:35 and finish at 8. PM.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We will go to executive session.